So like I said, we are going to look at the concept of strategic clock. And I equally say that strategic clock is one of the terms commonly used in strategic management. So for us to really understand what strategic clock is all about, we are going to look at the purpose of strategic clock. We'll look at drawing a strategic clock, then how to use a strategic clock. It is believed that when we look at all these topical issues that center or that are central to strategic clock, then we'll be able to enrich our knowledge, or better still, we'll be able to have a better perspective of what strategic clock is all about. So let's start with the purpose of strategic clock. The purpose of strategic clock. While we are trying to look at the purpose of strategic clock, we can at the same time answer the question that says, what is strategic clock? What is strategic clock? Then, what purpose does it serve? The question again says, what is strategic clock? What purpose does it serve? When we talk about strategic clock, like I said, it is one of the terms commonly used in strategic management for the purpose of achieving certain goals and objectives upon which a particular strategy is adopted or employed at a given point in time. However, it is important to note that the concept of strategic clock was mainly suggested by Bowman in the year 1996. And when Bowman suggested strategic clock, he actually saw strategic clock as a way of looking at various combinations of price and perceived benefits of a given product or service over a particular period of time. So when we are talking of strategic clock, like I said, it was majorly put forward or developed by Bowman in the year 1996, and the concept was majorly used as a way of looking at various combinations of price and perceived benefits on the part of a particular product or service. So we have many companies that usually consider which combination of the two they should try to offer at a point in time. Although to do this, they may also understand the perception of customers about the total benefit which the product or service will actually provide to the final consumers. There are two major factors here that are said to be important, or there are two basic elements of strategic clock. These are, we have the price and we have the perceived benefit. These two are actually centered on a particular product or services as the case may be. Don't forget the fact that I have told us what the price of commodity is all about. The price of a commodity is often regarded as the value that is placed on that particular commodity. And when we talk of benefits or perceived benefits as the case may be, we are talking about the total satisfaction that are expected to be derived from a particular product at a given period of time. Or better still, we can call it the utility to be derived, or satisfaction to be derived from the consumption of certain production process of goods and services, or product and services as the case may be. So in this case, when we look at these two basic elements of strategic clock, the price and perceived benefit, it is important that appropriate or rational firms, as the case may be, are able to put measures in place on how to achieve these two basic elements. Which of these factors can be easily influenced by a particular firm with a view to achieving certain goals and objectives upon which the firms are actually established, though it depends on various structures that exist in the market. So but whichever way, it is often believed that the main goal of every firm on one hand is to make profit, and on the other hand is to add or create value on various products or services produced by them. Hence, companies may also use the concept of strategic clock to assess the business strategies of competitors as well as the combination of price and benefits which they are offering to the general public. So this strategic clock can be used or can be employed at a point in time for the purpose of assessing the business strategies. This therefore implies that one of the main purposes of strategic clock is basically designed to assess the business strategies of competitors. That is, those strategies that have been put in place by the rival firms, as well as combination of price and benefit which these rival firms or competitors are actually offering to the market or industry, as the case may be. So when companies are able to understudy the strategies put in place by its rival firms or competitors in terms of combination of price and other benefits, then the firm can then be able to at least counter or put in place counter strategy which can really make the strategies of competitors to be ineffective at a given point in time. And the purpose of doing all this is to achieve some element of competitive advantage. So let us look at a strategic clock. Let's look at a strategic clock. So the strategic clock we have identified earlier has basically two dimensions, and these two dimensions are said to be the price and the perceived benefit. I have told us the two basic components or two dimensions of strategic clock. These are the price of commodity and also the perceived benefit derived or to be derived from the product or services. Price can be shown on a scale that ranges from low to high, and similarly, perceived benefits can be shown on a scale that also ranges from low to high. This therefore implies that there is a positive or direct relationship between the price of commodity and that of perceived benefit, such that a reduction in price will bring about a appropriate increase in the perceived benefits, and when the price also increases, then automatically the level of benefit of a typical customer will reduce proportionately. Or better still, we can state that there is a negative or inverse relationship between the price and perceived benefit, such that when the price reduces, automatically perceived benefit will increase, and when the price increases, then perceived benefit will reduce. This actually goes to tell us that there is no positive or direct relationship. Rather, we have a negative or inverse relationship between price and perceived benefit, which are often regarded as the two basic components or dimensions of strategic clock. The clock in this case basically consists of a series of business strategies, and each of these business strategies is actually shown as the hand of a clock which is pointing in the direction of a combination of price and other perceived benefits. Apart from that, each business strategy has a different combination of price and perceived benefits, where consumers have different requirements in terms of value for money, and the different positions on the clock also represent a set of generic business strategies for the purpose of achieving competitive advantage. Therefore, there can be any number of different business strategies, but what is majorly important is that each of these strategies has its own combination of price and perceived benefit. Then the different business strategies can be grouped into the following. 1. We have 5 business strategies which may enable a firm to gain a competitive advantage. This therefore means that there are 5 major business strategies that can be taken at that point in time, and these business strategies will go a long way in enabling a firm to gain what is called competitive advantage. And 2, strategies that will fail because they cannot provide competitive advantage. Those strategies that cannot provide competitive advantage, automatically they are going to fail because of their ineffectiveness and inefficiency in the provision of competitive advantage to a particular business organization. So how to use a strategic clock? How do we use a strategic clock? And the question says, how is strategic clock used? How is strategic clock used? We have told us that strategic clock is one of the ways of looking at various business strategies that are often developed and adopted by a particular business organization with a view to achieve or provide competitive advantage on the part of a given business organization. So a strategic clock can be used for the purpose of considering different business strategies in order to gain competitive advantage to a particular firm. And this is often based on the provision of a combination of price and perceived benefit. This therefore means that the business strategies that will be adopted at this point in time must or have to be centered on the combination of price and perceived benefit. So in any given examination, we are likely to be given a case study or scenario as the case may be. And also, students may be asked to suggest a suitable business strategy for a typical complaint based on the case study or scenario which a student must have carefully read at a given point in time. This strategic clock may be a useful basis for making an analysis such that looking at the business strategies of competitors and what a company must do for the purpose of finding an appropriate combination of price and other perceived benefits which it should offer to customers with a view to create value and provide competitive advantage. So students under this particular condition are actually expected to read the case study or scenario carefully before making attempts, and this scenario or case study may have to be read many times so as to really have a broader understanding of what the issues are all about. And having understand the relevant issues contained in the case study, then the strategic clock is likely to be a useful tool or basis for analysis purposes. And looking at the business strategies of competitors, there is a need for appropriate strategic clock to be developed so as to see various business strategies that can be developed by a firm based on the combination of price and perceived benefits which it should offer to customers in order to provide competitive advantage as well as creating or adding value to the product or services. So the 5 broad group of business strategies which might succeed are: we have a no-frills strategy. When we talk of a no-frills strategy, we simply refer to position 1 on the clock. We have a low price strategy, that is position 2 on the clock. We have what we call a differentiation strategy, that is position 4 on the clock. We have a hybrid strategy, that is position 3, and we have a focused differentiation strategy, that is position 5 on the clock. These are the 5 broad groups of business strategies which are likely to succeed from a particular case study or scenario that requires the use of strategic clock for the purpose of analyzing the business activities of the firm. So these 5 broad categories of business strategies will go a long way in achieving broad goals and objectives as well as providing competitive advantage to the firm. So let's look at each of these 5 strategies one after the other and the positions they actually occupy in the strategic clock. So we have position 1, that is no frills strategy. No frills strategy. But meanwhile, a question says, write short note on group of business strategy. Write short note on group of business strategy. Don't forget the fact that we have been able to identify 5 major broad groups of business strategy, and we have actually categorized them into different positions from position 1 to position 5. So let's start with no frills strategy, which is actually contained in the first position. When we talk of a no-frills strategy, a no-frills strategy is often a strategy or regarded as a strategy which is majorly designed or employed for the purpose of offering a product or service at a low price and with low perceived benefit.